Good afternoon and cheers to another school year. Thank you so much for joining me for this afternoon's webinar. We are having a webinar all about back to school survival because here's the thing, school is basically upon us. For some of you, school starts back today for your kids, and for some of us, it's next week, like for me. And whether your children are small or older, there are always challenges with back to school. It's a change in routine. It's new teachers, new routines, new responsibilities, both for our kids, but also for us as parents as they move through the ages and stages of childhood. So I want to give you some tips that I've developed for my own family and also to share with members of my practice, because here's the thing. We don't have to go at this alone, number one. So there is so much community here at Restoring Life, and if you're in the area at all, you should absolutely plug into it because we have a huge community of parents that gather at least once a month at our Empowered Mama Meetup. And we chat about all the challenges of parenthood. We also have a great community just in the office on an everyday basis. So know that you don't have to go at this challenge alone. You need a team for your family. You need a family health and wellness team, which we'll talk about that in this webinar. We're gonna cover some really great things. So let me run that down. We're gonna cover how to prepare your home for back to school. For many of us, we're busy preparing backpacks and all that stuff, but not really preparing our home to be super conducive to back to school and to make things easier. So I'm going to give you some great tips with that. Next, how to prepare your schedule. Although, yes, we should be thinking about what time to wake up and go to sleep, but there's some other components in there that I guarantee you haven't thought of that can be a total game changer for you. The other thing is to prepare all the food, right? Hashtag all the food. But here's the thing. In motherhood, in parenthood, oftentimes, and it doesn't matter if you're the mother of the year or the dad of the year, there are times in parenthood that I feel like a slave. Like I am making all the food, I am making all the things, and literally running around like a chicken with my head cut off, but it doesn't have to be that way. So I want to give you some strategies that can totally shift that for you, where you're not just the short order cook, and you're not just the person that is the maid of the house, and actually help you to encourage your children to have both responsibility and excitement and joy in participating in all of those things. The last thing we're going to cover too is family health and wellness, because that is my favorite topic. We'll save it for last because you do not want to be on defense all year long. You need an offense strategy. So with all the germs coming your way, and all of the fall activities and that typical slope in health and wellness that you see in your kids when the fall hits, you don't have to do that. So I'm going to share that with you as well. And then the back to school jitters and anxiety, which we'll have a separate webinar on later this month. So make sure you plug into that. But I'll touch the surface of that today, because if you have a kid that struggles with ADD, ADHD, or any type of challenges that really put them in a corner when it comes to going back to school and dealing with all of that, there is so much more you can do for them other than say, sit in your seat, you better listen, you better do your homework and all of that, because that strategy, let's just face it, it does not work really good. Although obviously you should tell them those things, but you need more of a strategy. So I'll help you with that too. All right, so let's jump on in. I have my back to school survival guide right here. You can download this checklist as well. So right now what I want you to do is actually drop a comment, an emoji or a GIF, because those are fun, to tell me, first of all, how was school for you last year with your little ones? And then how do you hope that this school year is different? What do you hope it is? Sunshine and rainbows. Hopefully there's not a lot of poop emojis about last year or mind blow emojis. That would be me because it was definitely overwhelming. So let's jump right in. Are you ready? I've got my notes here. So preparing your home. A few things in regards to preparing your home. You want to create an environment that is very conducive to your children actually playing a part in the preparation and the responsibilities of all things related to them going back to school. And if you set up your house in a way that encourages that, it can be very helpful. So first of all, let's cover the philosophy of that, okay? So as parents, if you think about it, we feel, especially if you have little ones, if you have older ones, not so much, but talking to the parents who have little ones. If you have little ones, you are brushing their hair, you're brushing their teeth, you're getting them dressed, you're getting their backpack, you're getting their lunch, you're getting their coat, you're getting and you are literally following them around, or rather chasing and wrestling them around to get these things done. If you've noticed during your regular morning routine and even nighttime routine, that is where a lot of meltdowns happen. And just think about that. As a human being, how fun would it be? Let's say if your partner, whoever that is, were to hold you down, brush your teeth, put your backpack on, put your clothes on, shove food in your mouth, and put your shoes on and all that stuff. Okay, it's not, even though they need our help, it is not the most comfortable and fun scenario to feel like something is done to you so much. So a few things with that. Your child is completely capable. Now, if they're crawling, obviously they're not really going back to school. They're in daycare. We're talking about school-age kids, okay? Your child, whether it's pre-K or pre-K, let's say they're 3 years old and on, is capable of doing a lot more than you are probably giving them credit for. They may not do it perfect, right? Like their shoes might be on the opposite feet. Their shirt might be inside out. They might have toothpaste everywhere. There's a few give and takes there. But here's the point. We need to empower our children to really be involved in their self-care. So I'm going to tell you how you can set up your home in order to encourage your child to do that. So one thing that I learned from the Montessori type of method of parenting and school as well, because my kids did go to Montessori school in the past, that was really helpful, is encouraging your children with self-care. So you can create a self-care station in your home, specifically in the bathroom or in the bedroom, and you can get just a little bitty side table, not very big. You can get that from Target, from Walmart, from Amazon, from IKEA, and you can put a brush that is a smaller size brush that they can hold, and set up a little tray, even if you want to, or put a towel on it. You can put a brush, you can put a comb, you can put their toothbrush, and anything else involved in their self-care. And then put a little mirror on the wall. So I'm talking about like a 8x8 or 10x10, whatever size mirror right in front of that, where they can actually see themselves. Because children do want to learn how to take care of themselves. And if you set up that station, I will tell you from my experience, my kids will stand there for like an hour if I were to let them, brushing their hair, brushing their teeth, looking at themselves, right? They're getting to know their body, and they're also getting to know how to take care of their body. So set up that station. Now, if your kid is older, obviously a little bitty station like that might not be ideal, but set up a drawer for them, because kids don't have like really natural organization skills. But if you were to set up a drawer for them and just make sure that maybe you get one of those little inserts that goes in a drawer, and you've got it organized where everything that they need for the morning is right there. They don't have to go hunting for it, and that is their drawer. You could even maybe divide that up by siblings, which would help with all the fighting and things like that might happen for you in the morning or in the night routine. So encourage your children and get them involved in self-care. Another really great thing that you can use with that is like a little guide chart. So you can have, and you can find these on Pinterest, y'all. Go on Pinterest and look for like a getting ready checklist for toddlers. It will have a picture, a little cartoon picture of a kid brushing their hair, brushing their teeth, washing their hands, going potty. So you can download a morning routine graphic. You can even laminate it however creative you want to get, or however simple you want to get. and set up that self-care station. And then you can also get a timer. So getting like a little egg timer off Amazon, or setting a timer on your phone, or even using like a get ready song on your playlist. Like, it's time to get ready. I'm gonna put on your get ready song, go brush your teeth and your hair and all that. That doesn't mean that you're not going to do touch-ups, but get them involved, and I promise you your morning routine will be so much better, because you're not the only one that has to be doing all the things, right? Okay, next, talking about creating or preparing your home. Make a space where your little one can also have a routine of where to put everything when they get home for the day. So if you're like me, you're like digging the folder out of the backpack, trying to find it when you get home, to sign all the things, check all the homework, make sure everything's done. But here's the thing, if you just create a space, whether it's labeled, whether you have that little info grid like I talked about, or in your mud room, in your laundry room, where your backpack goes here, your shoes go here, your folder goes here. So don't forget the folder slot, because you might have the backpack or the shoe thing down, and if you do, kudos to you, but add something in regards to where to actually pull their things out and put their folder, so that they are really getting their things out of their backpack and preparing for whatever it is, doing homework or you signing things or whatever. That will help a lot. The next thing, creating a space in your kitchen and pantry that's accessible by your kids, even if they're kindergartners or pre-K kids. And of course, older kids can typically have access to things regardless of where they are, because they can reach. But create a station in your pantry or in your kitchen, in a cabinet, where your children can be a part of meal preparation for their lunch, for their breakfast, for their dinner, all of that. So again, another thing that I learned through Montessori, which is super helpful, you can also Pinterest Montessori home ideas, which has helped me a lot. But having one cabinet on the bottom shelf that is designated to a child's space, where there are literally plates that are just for them, that are stacked up, that they can grab a plate for dinner, they can grab a bowl for breakfast or a plate for breakfast. And also having lunch boxes, containers for their lunches, and all those things. So with my kids, that's what I do. And then in the pantry, I suggest having maybe 1 to 3 bins that are designated for snacks and lunch items, those pre-packaged things. Now, first of all, packaged food isn't the best for your kids. I know there's a certain amount of packaged food you're gonna have for them. So just do yourself a favor and them a favor. Spend the few extra dollars to get organic stuff that is food coloring and sugar-free. Not sugar-free as in replaced with artificial sweetener, but stuff that's just not packed with sugar. Because here's the thing, those things are gonna make your child's neurology and their brain just poof at school. They're going to bring out behaviors. They're going to bring out disobedience. They're going to bring out hyperactivity. They're going to bring out just resistance to being still. They're going to agitate and stress out their nervous system. So just be on the offense with that and ditch all the things that have food coloring and all of those neurotoxins that are bad for the brain. Just a little wellness lecture there. So if you create a bin for snacks, and it's like, okay, all of the apple chips, maybe instead of regular chips, snack bars that are good for them, and apple sauces and whatever are in a bin, then every evening what you can do is say, hey, get your lunchbox. Other tip, have more than one lunchbox, because if you don't have time to clean the other one out, you got home late from soccer practice or whatever it may be, or maybe work, then you don't want to be constantly cleaning out those things. So have a few extras of everything where they can reach it, and tell them, hey, let's get your lunchbox. It's time to make our lunch for tomorrow. You can even do this for your lunch too and make it just a family effort. It's lunchtime. It's time to make lunches. Everybody is going to do that now. So you can get your spouse or partner involved, other kids as well. So get them to grab that lunchbox, and then you can easily let them have access to the pantry. Let's say, so for me, my kids will eat all the food if they can access it. So if you're saying, yeah, right, I can't leave food where my kids can get it because they will eat it all in one sitting, then have it higher up in your pantry and bring it down just for meal prep time. Now, have them get their lunchbox, walk them through the routine several times so they know how to do it. Grab one of these, grab one from this bin, one from that bin, and you can even create the same scenario in your refrigerator where they can grab one thing, like let's say you have grapes that are all in Ziploc bags, and then you have maybe apples like that are already sliced and in a package, and they can grab one of those. So you can create that same scenario. Meal prep, if it's dinner, you could do the same kind of thing. If it's lunch, you can do that as well. And then they are involved. They're taking responsibility for their own nourishment. They're most likely to eat it as well because they participated in making it. Now, that is just grabbing stuff, but you can have them help you make sandwiches. Peanut butter and jelly, almost anybody can do that. My 3-year-old can spread jelly on a piece of bread. So again, mom, do not stay up until midnight making lunches. And let me say dad too, because I know there's a lot of dads that are doing all of this stuff as well. So do not stay up until midnight doing all this stuff and feeling like a slave in your own home and feeling like no one helps you. Even though you may enjoy those things, you will enjoy them even more if your kid is involved. Okay, so prepare your home for easy meal prep. Okay, next, designate a special place to lay out clothes, okay? I used to lay out clothes for the next day. So every night I would get my kids to, well, they weren't really helping me. I would lay out their clothes for the next day. And here's the thing, some nights it took them like forever to get settled and we got home late and things like that. So I did not actually have time to get their stuff out, or they would go to sleep and then I didn't want to wake them up by opening drawers and everything. So that it left the mornings very reactive. So here's a tip, okay? You can get a bin, again, like maybe a wicker basket that you like, or even a plastic bin. However you want to do it is fine. I don't suggest leaving it just wide out in the open on the dresser because you know how much toddlers and even older kids like to change their clothes. So they will probably ruin that stack of clothes real quick. But if you create a space where you set out clothes for the entire week, not just the next day. Boom, I know, mind blow, right? I did not even think of that myself. Someone suggested it and I was like, oh my gosh, you're a genius. So set out clothes for the entire week, Monday through Friday. Now, obviously there can be weather changes, all that. Don't really take it to the extreme and set out everything they could possibly need. If the weather shifted, you can always grab that. But create a space and again, make it part of their routine. It's their clothes, right? They are the ones wearing them. They're the ones that need to also help put them on. No matter how old they are, they can put something on by themselves. So have them set it out. So you can open the drawer and say, hey, let's get 5 shirts. What shirts do you want? Or if it's uniform, it's even better. But you could do, what pattern do you want? Red, white, blue, if it's uniform. And then again, you're making it a little bit creative. They can be a part of it and it can also be fun. So that's gonna be my new strategy this year. And I'm excited to use it next week. And I know, isn't that something silly to get excited about? But as parents, any way that we can make our life easier is absolutely amazing. Okay, next, also that concept in preparing your home, think about wherever you have meltdowns. You, yourself, I said you, not your kids. So wherever you have meltdowns in your house about kid-related stuff or routine-related stuff or messy stuff or whatever, and use some of the concepts I just talked about and create a strategy. You got this. You can do it. Okay, next thing, prepare your schedule. This is big for me because I'm kind of a fly by the seat of my pants person, and if you're not, I covet your personality, but that's how I am, so schedule's really hard for me. But let me tell you some tips on how to prepare your schedule. So number 1, decide what time you need to get up to be the person and the mom or the dad that you want to be, not the one that you are when you wake up 10 minutes late, your kid's punching you in the shoulder, and they're asking for cereal. Like, that's not a good strategy. That's not a good morning routine. I'm guilty of having that morning routine for the majority of my motherhood because I've been exhausted nursing babies through the night, and I don't want to wake up at 5:30 or 6 or 6:30. 7 is great, but we're always late for school. So don't use that strategy. Decide what time you need to wake up to be the mom you want to be. Okay, next, create a bedtime routine for yourself. Create a bedtime routine for yourself because here's the thing. Think about it. We're going to talk about creating a bedtime routine for your kids, but create a bedtime routine for yourself. Instead of staying up until midnight, making lunches and getting clothes out, that will be done. So check that off the list. And after your kids get settled, you need a routine for yourself that involves self-care. Because here's the thing, it goes back to putting that oxygen mask on yourself first before anybody else. And the more that you deplete yourself and don't pour back in, the more you're operating out of an empty cup, and the more painful life is, and the harder it is, and the less energy you're gonna have. So let me clue you into my evening routine. I have a big jar of Epsom salt by my bathtub. I have my favorite relaxing oils. I have like lavender, stress away, frankincense. I have aroma size or C's, however you say that, pan away. I have oils to support pain and soreness and all that from working out and adjusting all day. And I have stress oils. I put them in my bath. I have a bath every single night, no matter what, even if it's for 4 minutes or if it's for 30 minutes, because that is like my reset. If I can take a bath, if I can put lotion on, all else in the world is gonna be okay. So whatever that looks like for you, create that and commit to that, because you cannot keep pouring from an empty cup. You cannot go to sleep without taking care of yourself and waking up in the morning like jumping through your skin and having the messy hair, yoga pants. I love that life. I would live it every day, but live that feeling like you took care of yourself, not living that because your kids didn't let you wash your hair for 7 days. So take care of yourself. You are the most important. The next thing with your schedule, for breakfast, create a no-cook kind of breakfast routine. And we'll talk about that in regards to preparing food. But one of the things I started doing as part of my nighttime routine and schedule was setting out bowls and spoons. You can even have your kiddos help you with that right after lunch prep for the next day. That helped me a lot because then in the morning it's already out. I don't have to make a bunch of noise and wake up the baby, and I can literally just pour the things and stick them on the table. So find a way to set up your kitchen for the next day as well. Choose a bedtime and bedtime routine that your child helps you create. So actually ask their input so they feel like they decided it and it's not just forced on them. And decide on a time that you create a fun bedtime warning, like playing a special song when it's time for bed. So again, playing songs is a great cue for my kids. You can play songs, you can have a timer, something like that. But when it comes to bedtime routine, if you have a song that you put on after dinner with smaller kids and say, hey, our bedtime song is on, it's time to go brush your teeth and brush your hair and wash your hands, and then we're gonna read our book, something like that. So have a cue, because literally we're training up our children, right? So it's like Pavlov's dog, not comparing our kids to dogs, but the brain will lay down that signal as the signal, and it won't be like, you know, when you don't want to say the word bedtime and you're like sign languaging to your partner or spouse, you're just like, because you know your kids are going to start screaming if you say bedtime. So have a fun cue that doesn't make them hyper, some relaxing music, something like that, that cues them in every single night. It is bedtime. This is what we do for our bedtime routine. And then you can have that book or those prayers or whatever you want to do for your family ready for bedtime. Next thing, ask your partner if you have one at home. If you don't, You got this. Fist bump. You can do it. But if you do have someone, whether it's your mom that lives with you, another relative, your husband, your wife, whatever, ask them what they feel most excited, and listen to my wording. What do you feel most excited about helping with this back to school routine stuff? Do you feel like you would enjoy bedtime more or morning more? Or do you want to do lunch prep with the kids? Because a lot of times if you do have a spouse in the home, another parent, something like that, and you're used to doing everything, you will often, if you need help, be very reactive and sometimes like, I can't do this anymore and I need your help and blah, blah, blah. That can happen. You know it has before, right? So ask them and have that conversation before school starts. What are you the most excited about? What do you want to help with? And just let them decide. Don't just put it on them. Let them know what your needs are, what you feel like you would need the most help with. Maybe they can do the lunch routine and you can get them started and make sure everybody knows the routine, but that could be your bath time if you're feeling like you don't have that self-care time. So chat about it. Next thing, let's talk about preparing all the food, right? So my little boys eat more food than me. So I'm always wondering, how am I going to keep you alive when you're a teenager? I think we will be at CC's every day. Not really. We don't eat that, but something like that. So create an easy meal plan for your family that involves one-pot meals, Instapot, no-cook recipes, and things like that. Save yourself time by using Instacart. Use the little click and pick up thing at Walmart or Target or whatever. If you're not getting your groceries online, let me tell you, you need to launch into 2019, because if you're the mom that's like, I don't have time for the gym and I don't have self-care and I am always run down, you can get 2 to 3 hours of your schedule back a week by ordering your groceries online. And it might cost you like $10 more, but you would spend more than that if you were in person because you'd be grabbing extra stuff. So do yourself a favor and order your groceries online, okay? It's so much easier. And you can save your list and you can literally just click, like put the whole list back in the cart and not go through item by item. If you have all your favorite things for your family, then you can save that. And so make your life easier. Deliver your groceries on Saturday to your house. Why am I saying this? Because you can meal prep on Sundays. On Sunday, you could, this is my strategy, okay? Create your own strategy, but this is mine. If you meal prep for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, that's gonna be 3 meals. You can do that on a Sunday because you can make maybe one giant thing that will feed y'all on Monday and Tuesday, and then you can make one smaller thing that will feed you on Wednesday. That's 3 dinners, right? You could do that in 2 hours on Sunday or less if you get the family involved. The next thing is on Thursdays, you could have a no-cook dinner. You could have something that's frozen, get something organic, sneak some veggies in it, whatever, you know, be healthy. You could have smoothies. You could have sandwiches and smoothies. You could have anything, any combination that's easy. Something that's like a no-cook meal on Thursdays. Make it easy into the week, right? You just got through hump day. Then on Fridays, maybe you and the fam can go to dinner. You know, even if it's at something super inexpensive, like, I don't know, Schlotzsky's or whatever, Chipotle. So on Fridays, consider going out because then you're only really prepping 3 meals. And then on the weekend, you have more time for stuff like that. So prep 3 meals on Sunday, do something easy on Thursday. On Friday, go out to eat. Have a strategy though. Oftentimes we just like fall face first into the week. We haven't meal planned, we might not even have all the groceries we need, or we spent all weekend grocery shopping, unpacking groceries, and we're exhausted, so then we don't even prep the food, and then we just like call food in. Who's guilty of that? I am. So don't do that. Remember to involve your little ones and make it fun. Also, you can get all those snacks I talked about for the pantry on Amazon. They legit have all those organic little prepackaged snacks that you can get on Amazon. You can also get them from Costco. You could do one big Costco run for the big like bulk items once a month. All right, next, my favorite topic, but I'm not going to take forever on this because we do have another webinar coming up later this month. But this is on preparing your family's wellness. So don't get caught in the endless cycle of immune challenges this year. As your kid goes back to school and encounters all the germs, their immune system, it'll be right good, and then boom, it's gonna crash. You're gonna recover it a little bit, and then it'll crash again, even harder. And it takes them longer to recover from illnesses as time goes on because they just can't really get out of the woods. So if your kid struggles with chronic illness during the school year, or even just that periodic illness, here's the thing you have to know. Number one, most of the bacteria that creates these viruses and colds actually already lives within inside the body. Do you know you have strep in your throat right now? But the thing is, your nervous system that controls your immune system can be weak. And when that happens, your body won't keep those things in check as you encounter more stress. So what is more stress? A harder schedule, right? Being more tired, having more responsibilities, also the peer stress, the emotional stress, the pressure of school, the extra germ stress, for sure, there's extra germ stress. But as we encounter these stresses in our environment or internally related, like, emotional stress related to going back to school, here's what we have to have. We have to have an increase in adaptability to overcome those stresses. So how do we increase our kids' adaptability? Well, we covered a few things: healthy diet, healthy routines, all of that. But their nervous system, their brain, their spinal cord, the one computer that runs the show, as much as it runs the show with concentration, with focus, with behavior, okay, which can be an issue too, it also runs the show with immunity. So you've got to make sure that your child's nervous system is fully engaged, their immune system is fully engaged, and that they have the ability and the adaptability to overcome those extra stresses. We see kids in our practice every single day that have struggled with chronic illness that absolutely no longer do. They bounce back within 24, 48 hours at max with little things that they encounter, but typically they don't get sick nearly as often. It is actually a fluke for them to get sick. And then when they do, like I said, they bounce right back. So have your child's nervous system checked. I guarantee you've had their physical, right, for the year. You've gotten their hearing screening sign, their vision screening. They're going to check their ears, eyes, throat, all that stuff. But the one thing that's not being checked in your child that you may be overlooking and missing is the health of their nervous system and immune system. We have a scan in our office that actually assesses the stress in the nervous system, how much stress is there, if there is any stress that's interfering with that immune function, that also upper level brain function like behavior, emotions, ability to concentrate, focus, be still in the classroom. It assesses every single nerve in the body to find where is that stress, how much is there, and then what can we do to unlock that so your child can actually live their full potential, because you know they have the ability to be anything they want to be, right? That's what we tell them, but we have to help them access it. So if you've noticed a pattern in your child, or you start to this year, where you know they're not accessing the full ability that they have as a child to function well and to thrive, then you're missing something. So get them checked. We do checks here for kids. So if you need that support and you need their nervous system checked, reach out to our office. We would be glad to guide you through what that looks like. Check out our Facebook, scroll through all the stories. There are so many testimonials of children who were struggling in the past, who have an amazing, amazing life now and are thriving. So check out our Facebook, reach out to us, we're here for you. The last thing, but not least, I want to leave you with this. Remember, all that matters is the love and connection between you and your children, and everything else can wait. Perfection in motherhood is only our attempt to control the uncontrollable. Detach from perfection and live in the moment like you deserve with your kids. So this school year can be the best yet. If it's the first one, then you got this. You got all the tips before you even got to go through the crazy trial and error of parenthood in regards to school. So share this with a mom or a dad that you think can benefit. And don't forget to download your checklist. We'll put some instructions in the comments of this video so you can download the checklist of everything I talked about today and share it with a friend or your spouse so you can all get on the same page and have the best school year yet. And thanks for tuning in. Again, this is Dr. Lauren with Restoring Life Chiropractic, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.